Hey guys, it's Friday, so it's Return to Collecting Top 50 of All Time Countdown. Today we're going to talk about number 24. This guy was probably the fastest runner in the history of baseball. He stole bases like a world champion. He scared the crap out of opposing teams when he got on base, and he was probably the best leadoff man of all time. So you can probably guess who number 24 is. I also brought on a special guest today, who is a huge fan of this guy, and it was a really fun conversation. So this is a little bit longer video than normal, but I figured you guys would enjoy the conversation with my special guest. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, guys, number 24 on the list, none other than Mr. Rickey Henderson. Here's his rookie card in a PSA 9. It's the back of that. It's just crazy if you think about it. His strike zone literally is tiny. I mean, look, he's all squished. He's a shorter guy, and he's all squished down. So he's got this tiny strike zone. It's like impossible to throw strikes to him. Then we got the Rickey Henderson signed ball. All right, so Ricky Nelson Henley was born on December 25th, 1958 in Chicago, Illinois, in the backseat of an Oldsmobile on the way to the hospital. He jokes that even then he was fast. His family moved to Oakland when he was 2 years old, but Ricky was sent to live with his grandmother in Arkansas. When he was 7, he moved to Oakland to be with his family. His father was killed in a car accident when he was 10. His mother remarried Paul Henderson, and Ricky took his name. Now Rickey Henderson, he played Little League, and by the time he was a junior in high school, the natural lefty learned how to bat right-handed. He said, all my friends were right-handed and swung from the right side, so I thought that's the way you're supposed to be doing it. He's the most successful player in history to throw left and bat right. Ricky played baseball, basketball, and football for the Oakland Technical High School. He was an All-American running back with 2 1,000-yard rushing seasons. He received over a dozen offers to play football, but his mom insisted that baseball players have longer careers. He took his mom's advice. He was drafted by the A's in 1976. He played 3 seasons in the minors before making his major league debut in 1979. He adjusted well to the majors, and in 1980, he became only the 3rd modern player to steal 100 bases in a season. He went on to have an incredible 25-season career. His mom was right about the longevity of baseball versus football. He is the greatest leadoff man in history. The respected statistician Bill James said of Ricky's career, if you could split him in half, you'd have 2 Hall of Famers. Before I jump into the stats, I have a special guest. All right, guys, so my special guest today is my brother. He's a huge Rickey Henderson collector, huge Rickey Henderson fan, and I figure since we're talking Ricky, he's the best one to kind of explain why Ricky absolutely deserves to be on this list. So without further ado, here is the brother of Return to Collecting. Thanks for joining us today. Let me ask you a question. Why Ricky?
Well, thanks for welcoming me back to the channel. And let's just get right into it. Ricky is, well, first of all, we're about 20 weeks early. Let me just put that out there, which is all right. I hope to at least convince someone that we're 10 weeks early or 13 weeks early. But yeah, I mean, besides the obvious reasons, stolen bases, etc., Ricky's leadoff home run king, 81. I mean, if there's ever a way to start momentum in a game, it's a leadoff home run. It's the most exciting thing that can happen in a game, give or take. Unintentional walk leader. This stat is staggering because no pitcher ever wants to walk Rickey Henderson. He's stealing second, he's stealing third, he's getting knocked in a sacrifice fly. Now you're down a run. You just don't want that. Even more impressive is a stat I love: 796 walks to lead off an inning.
Nice.
796 walks, where the first thing that happens is you got Ricky on first base. It's like hell for a pitcher. That is a player I love to see someone doing something like that.
Nice.
The stolen base thing, everyone chalks it up to Ricky's the base guy. Of course he is. He destroyed the record. No one will ever touch the record. That's not even an issue. We don't even need to discuss how he's the number one there. But in the end, he's just a game changer. You place Rickey in there, and everything could change. And as a Yankee fan, I am in hell with what the current Yankees have. No one does this. We just sit and wait for a home run now. We have a player like Rickey. He's on base. He's stealing. He's getting knocked in. You're manufacturing runs. He was like the manufacturer. And as we all know, has the most runs of all time.
Yeah. He has
So
2 huge all-time records.
And if we're talking runs, it's like he beat Ty Cobb. So who else is on that list? Ty Cobb, Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, Pete Rose, Willie Mays. He has more than them. Look at that list right there.
It's some of the greatest players of all time.
How is that not a top 10 player? How can you have more runs than all of them and not be a top 10 player? It's like saying Rickey's, if it was basketball, he's LeBron. Hockey, he's Wayne Gretzky. He's the Jerry Rice of football.
He's the scoring champion.
We won't talk about the Deflategate version of that, but he's the Jerry Rice of football. he's the Pele or Messi or Ronaldo of soccer. Like, all these guys are either number 1 or 2 or 3. How's that not for Rickey too?
Yeah, I agree. And then his runs. That's a good point. So I have a question for you. There's kind of a funny story. A couple weeks ago, I did the video on Randy Johnson, number 26 on my list. I think you have a pretty interesting story about when Rickey faced Randy, who, by the way, Randy, when we talked about it, one of the most dominating, one of the most intimidating pitchers of all time. He basically didn't put up with anything, and he scared everybody. Give me the example of why he was actually probably scared of Rickey.
Yep. So that's great. And I remember you just did Randy, and it was funny because this stat, Rickey played in a game against the Mariners. Rickey went 0 for 0. He stole 5 bases, scored 4 runs against Randy Johnson in 1989. That's just the perfect example of Rickey and what you might not think about what he's adding to the game right there. Like, that's Rickey right there.
So Randy Johnson walked him basically every time he got up to bat.
Correct. And if you think about it, Randy's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Rickey's down in his stance, and as I forget what pitcher said, he called his strike zone a coffee can. Yep. Think about Randy Johnson needing to hit the coffee can. Rickey's walking every time he was up. Again, not every time he faced him, but that game was a incredible example.
That's really cool, right? He walked him 4 times. He stole a bunch of bases, scored 4 runs, no hits. He went 0 for 0. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. That's Rick. That was what Rickey could do in the game now.
No, that's true. That he was, what he brought to the game was absolutely incredible. No, I appreciate that. So I know you're a big collector of Rickey's too. Do you want to show us? So I know you've got a lot of the people that watch our channel, they collect cards. And I know you collect cards, but I know you also collect memorabilia. So do you want to show us a couple of pieces of memorabilia, and then we'll jump into some cards?
Absolutely. So let's see. So first, let me show you this. I love this Sports Illustrated. It's I can't remember if it was his first cover, but amazing photo of him sliding head first, just like launched in the air. You see he signed this one. So this is a awesome piece for me.
Nice.
I have this. My buddy who lived out in Oakland was there for this and picked this up for me. It's the Rickey Henderson Day bobblehead.
Nice.
From 2011, not to be confused with MC Hammer Day, another Oakland legend. So awesome. I love that. That's another favorite for me right there.
Nice.
Oh, and here, let me show you this one too. As you know, Ricky Mizuno, he played with a lot of different bats. I think this was more of a practice bat, but Ricky bat signed
Nice.
signed by the GOAT.
So was that bat actually like a bat Rickey used?
It was I believe practice used,
Nice.
but it was used. So I don't think
That's
in
awesome.
game play though. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
nothing like a bat that the player hit balls with sign.
I
That's an
I
awesome
just hold
piece.
it knowing, I used to just swing it sometimes in the house too, make sure there was nothing around just to.
That's great. That's awesome. That's cool. So I know you've got some. That's funny. You got some cards too. So why don't you show us some of those? I know you've got tons. Obviously, if we'd be here for all day if you went through all the
Yeah,
cards.
I'll show you
Show me
some
some of
of
your
the.
faves.
Sure. So I'm a Yankee fan, so I have a ton of Ricky Yankee, but um I'll show you some other ones too. So I love his 81 Don Russ.
Oh, that's a cool card.
This one's in a 9. It's great condition. It has a little smudge over by his hands in the red, but it's a fantastic looking card.
It's a sweet card.
Back.
Nice.
Another favorite of mine. Here's the 81.
That's a cool card.
And then I love his 79 Ogden A's card.
Oh, nice. Minor league card. That's cool.
Minor
Sweet
league
rookie.
card. Love that one. And then let's see this. So this I love his 85 because that was when he transitioned to be a Yankee. And I was very young, so I didn't experience it, but later on I appreciated it. So
Okay.
this is his A's card. And then his OPG, he was traded. Sorry, I'm messing my angles up here. So he OPG gave him the Yankees on the bottom, but kept him at A because they didn't have a photo of him yet in
That's cool.
Canada, apparently.
That's super
And
cool.
then the full traded card
Nice.
in the 10. I try to go 10s when I can with the Yankee Rickies. But I love these side by side, just seeing like his transition.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. The
Oop,
Yankees in A picture, and then
my
the
bad,
Yankees.
my bad. Like that.
Oh, there you go. That's what you're almost. You're almost there. The Yankee one's in the middle.
Yes. Did I have it right the first time?
No.
All right, we're just gonna put those down for now.
Perfect.
And then I'm gonna show you one more. You could tell I'm a little rusty on my YouTube reverse camera tricks here.
Absolutely. Well, this is for everyone watching. This is his YouTube debut.
Yes, yes. So this I love. So this card, and it also explains why I love Ricky in one way. So this card here, this is Don Mattingly's record breaker card. Ricky's on it because every time Don Mattingly crossed the plate, Ricky was there to high five him for a grand slam. Sorry, not every time, half the time. Half of Don Mattingly's career grand slams, Ricky was on base for it. In that small stint, Ricky was a Yankee, which I think is amazing.
That's
And
awesome.
once again, it just shows a guy that can get on base. He's helping everybody on the team,
Yep.
especially those behind him. So I love this card, the Tiffany 10. Nice traded back.
Nice. That's a cool card. That's a cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Why they would do that? Why they put them both on? Why they put him on that card for Don
Yeah,
Mattingly?
love that.
No, don't you have some rookie cards of his?
Yep.
Let's
Yep.
check
I
it
have
out.
a little rookie collection. I like to collect good twos. So this was actually a very hard one to get my hands on, a
A two.
Ricky and a 2. But yeah, we just go right down the line with it here. We have this nice 3, 4, 5. I think this is the 6. The 6 I got at the National.
Oh, nice.
This is probably one of my favorites. It's like insane condition for a 6. I
Nice.
love the 6. 7, 8, big prize in the collection here, the 9. And then, we're going to get real crazy here and
What?
another 2.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you for showing all your cool stuff. I think that was a great conversation. And I think a lot of people will probably tell me I'm wrong putting Rickey at 24 after some of the points you made. They probably would say that he definitely deserves to be higher up on the list. But again, thanks for making your YouTube debut on the Rickey video. That's pretty awesome.
Thanks for having me to the channel.
Nice. Well, I hope I could have you on again sometime to have a conversation about Rickey or some other topic. You down for it?
That sounds great to me. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. So his awards include being 10-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, Gold Glove winner, 3-time Silver Slugger, and an ALCS MVP. He led the league in runs scored 5 times, hits once, stolen bases 12 times, including the all-time record in 1982 with 130. He also led the league in walks 4 times. For his career, he had 3,081 games played, 2,295 runs scored, first all-time in history, 3,055 hits, so he's in the 3,000 hit club, 297 home runs, including 81 games where he led off the game with a homer. So that record's first all-time. 1,406 stolen bases, first all-time by far, and 2,190 walks. Rickey stopped playing Major League Ball after the 2003 season, but loved playing so much he played in the minors for a few more years. He pushed MLB teams to put him on the roster through 2007 when he finally retired. In 2004, he called the GM of the Padres and left him a message. He said, "This is Rickey calling on behalf of Rickey. Rickey wants to play baseball." When Rickey passed Lou Brock's career stolen base record, he referred to himself as the greatest of all time because his idol Muhammad Ali used to use that phrase. That didn't sit well with the press and fans. Rickey claims that saying that was his biggest regret. Not one for being modest, Rickey had some zingers, including when Harold Reynolds led the league in stolen bases with 60, Rickey called him. Reynolds thought he was calling to congratulate him. Rickey said, "Henderson here, 60 stolen bases, you ought to be ashamed. Rickey would have had 60 at the break," and then hung up. When asked if Ken Caminiti's estimate that 50% of Major League Baseball players were taking steroids was accurate, Rickey said, "Well, Rickey's not one of them, so that's 49% right there." On the flip side, though, many heaped warranted praise on him. George Steinbrenner, not one for heaping praise, said, "There's only one Rickey Henderson in baseball. He was the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. He was one of the best players I ever played with, and obviously the best leadoff hitter of all time in baseball, Dave Winfield." Billy Beane said, "He's the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. I'm not sure there's a close second." So I think it's pretty clear he's the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. To close this out with a quote from author Howard Bryant, "An unapologetic, larger-than-life persona and style that made him the most exciting, unforgettable player in the game. Ultimately, his charisma, talent, staggering career accomplishments, and hilariously infectious blend of fact and fiction, part Yogi Berra, part Satchel Paige, stole the nation's heart." Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed number 24, Mr. Rickey Henderson. Literally one of the greatest of all time. Like we said, if you split this guy in half, he'd be 2 separate Hall of Famers. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're subscribed, I appreciate your subscription. If you're not subscribed and you like the video, please subscribe. And if you agree or disagree with the ranking of Rickey, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.